Welcome to GSA TV from German Speakers Association. My name is Siegfried Haider, and I'm very proud to present to you three personalities from the International Speaker Associations. First of all, the president of the Global Speaker Federation, Lindsay. Welcome.
Thank you, Siggy.
Secondly, Roger Harrop from the Professional Speakers Association in the UK.
Nice to be here.
And Mike Rayburn from the National Speakers Association in the US. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Lindsay, you're the president of the Global Speakers Federation, and you have seen many speakers worldwide. What would you say are the most important criteria if you say to someone, you are a great speaker?
You know, I think the three things, to make it really short, if I see a great speaker, they show passion. They're really passionate about their topic. They bring content, so there's something useful to take away from the presentation. And the absolute best is then underpin that or overlay that with humour. So passion, content, humour. If I see that on stage, I'm hooked. I'm sold.
And I think it's the humor, or I would say, in addition to that, the ability to connect. I mean, it's that passion is part of that.
Sure.
The passion does that, and the humor does that. But it's that if they can just connect with me, then I feel like they got it.
So how do you get this connection?
By being good, by being passionate, and by being believable, by being authentic, so that people realize, hold it, he's not just making this up. He's not just saying this. He or she is living this.
And it helps, doesn't it, Mike, to be self-deprecating on occasions.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not God up there. You don't know it all. And a bit self-deprecating, I think, really helps.
Mm-hmm. Mike, you're not only a speaker in the US and worldwide, you have filled the Carnegie Hall in New York many times. You are a great guitar player, and you showed this here at the GSA convention.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Great, he's excellent.
He is outstanding.
Thank you.
How important for you is it as a guitar player to prepare and to practice before a performance? And how important is it for a speaker? Do you have some hints for speakers how to prepare and how to practice?
Yes, and this is a question. It's a great question for me because I'm very passionate about this. First of all, yes, rehearsal and practice is integral to being good at anything. Okay, and of course, on an instrument, you spend hours and hours studying and practicing and going over fundamentals and over and over and over. But this is what I notice as my biggest pet peeve with speakers, and therefore what I see as the biggest opportunity is the fact that speakers don't practice enough. Speakers don't practice their speech. They don't go over it. They don't work on their platform skills. And so if they will do that, either by I'll do this in the basement, I'll just start talking and keep the tape running, because I never know when I'm going to say something that might accidentally be worthwhile. But seriously, to work on that, to view videos of your presentations and to review them. And that's hard because you see things and you go, oh, did I really say that? But that's what you need to say and to change.
It's interesting, if I can just jump in there, a coach and a mentor of mine in the early days said, Lindsay, every time you go to the refrigerator and you open the door, do a 5-minute vignette of one of your speeches. Practice a story or a point of wisdom or whatever.
In front of the fridge?
Yeah. Open the fridge, do a practice, just a couple of little minutes, and then go on with your life.
So to the milk and the
and if you can connect with milk, you got it.
I actually talked to the beer myself.
Very good.
Roger, you have been a very successful CEO, and you are a leader of many thousands of people, and you now speak to CEOs. What do you think? What is most important? Is it more the entertainment or more the education? And what is the best mixture here in the UK or in Europe?
It's really interesting question, Siggy, but particularly recently with what's been happening with the economic downturn and so on, people buy more rationally. And CEOs are buying more rationally. CEOs want ROI. They want a return on their investment, and they want to be able to see that in writing. And it means as a speaker, they're not interested in Chinese meal speakers, you know what I mean? You think you've had something good, but 2 hours later you need it again. They want speakers with content. They want speakers where the audience is going to retain the majority of what they say. So, everyone says, don't they, that speakers, it's all about not only education, but entertainment and enthusing. That's what we've got to do, and that's what CEOs want.
How do you secure the output of a speech so that the people do what you said?
Well, again, I think we're in interesting times at the moment. Things are changing. I don't think any longer any speaker, no matter how good they are, can just fly into a booking, do their half an hour, three-quarters of an hour, and fly out again. You've got to do befores and afters these days, and the afters involve implementation sometimes. It involves coming back. I now, every booking I do, I say, I'm coming back in 6 weeks' time. What I say is it's about me to get a post-mortem. But in reality, it's often about how well they're implementing what I talked about. And in reality, often they want me to come back and help them with the implementation. So I think it's very different from what it used to be.
Okay. And doing that fosters accountability on their part.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Lindsay, in your case, what is for you most important? Is it more important to get further engagements to be best on stage, or is it more important to communicate with your customers regularly, professionally, to communicate what you offer and the value of what you offer?
I think certainly you need to be in constant contact with your prospects and your existing clients, but you need to be absolutely best on stage.
Yeah.
You go there, you give fantastic value, as Roger said, give them a return on their investment, and then the rest takes care of itself in some ways. You're good on stage, they will invite you back again and again and again. Now, to get good on stage, of course, you've got to do as we said, you have to practice, you've got to give them material, good content. So I think it is very important that it's kind of a combination of all.
Do you sell on stage, and how, if you do?
I have done. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. If I sell on stage, it's with the permission of the client. But certainly on stage, I would talk about some of the other things that I do. And so I'll try and pique some interest in maybe my other programs. And just to give you a by way of example, 2 nights ago I spoke in Strasbourg in France. Now one of the large breweries has now made contact and said, wow, that was fantastic material. Can we talk some more about some work?
Okay.
So again, giving good value brings the return.
Yeah. So what do you use to communicate with your customers? Like, is it a more flyer or more the personal contact, the website?
Well, look, it's a combination of all of those things. I have a website, of course. I have a regular electronic communication. I have a very short weekly email that goes out. You can read it on one page of the. You don't even need to open anything. It's there, all contained in that one space in your email. I'm in regular contact with my very best clients. I'll ring them up at least every 30 days. And I learned many years ago, 30, 60, 90 days. 30 days for your best clients, 60 days for the next level down, 90 days for everybody in your database. Keep in touch in some way every 90 days.
Okay. Mike, if you sell a speech, it's the most difficult thing, I think, is to resell something invisible. It's actually just a promise.
Yes.
And how do you secure that the customer or the prospect trusts what you promise?
Well, there's a couple ways. One, the best way that a customer can have that security, or as close as they're going to get to it, because the fact is they don't have it. They are trusting you, okay, when they make the deal. But they can back that up to a certain. They can hedge their bets by number one, referrals from other speakers, or word of mouth from someone else who's heard the program. Okay, because it's I would call it social proof. Mm-hmm. Someone else said, "Hey, the guy's great." Hey, said, "Oh, this woman is fantastic. You got to book her." Okay, and I have another way. Where, well, of course, but videos. If they can see a video of it, they can get an idea of what you do. That's probably the best way. Yeah.
Okay. If you communicate with your customers, are you communicating more offline or online? How much do you use the internet, the social networks, in order to get in touch with?
I don't tend to use the social networks for discussion, for talking to my existing clients. I would tend to be using email. Again, often I'm talking across time zones, so email is often the easiest, together with Skype, phone calls. The other thing not to forget, I think, are electronic newsletters.